Hey everyone, Andy from WagerTalk.com, breaking down every fight for UFC 295. I hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you had a better weekend than Armin Petrosian. Let's get into these fights. We've got a really nice promo code coming up here. Break down a couple fights. We'll give that to you. Nice discount on a 30-day pass if you want all of our plays. But no time to waste. Let's just get right into it. Listen, the point of these videos is to try and give out the best bets while we're, trying to make money here. And sometimes it's just better to lay off of a lot of these fights. And I don't think there are a ton of great values on this card. We're going to break down these fights. I'm going to tell you what I think, but I got to be honest, this is definitely not a high volume type of card for me. So if you like a lot of plays, please leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up, and let's start with Steve Erceg versus Alessandro Costa. So I was kind of high on Erceg when he came into UFC, and I thought he would give Dvorak a lot of trouble. And not only did he give him a lot of trouble, he ends up winning. This guy came from Eternal MMA, which is a legit league down in Australia, and not a lot of holes in his game. His striking is pretty good. He's tall. He's got some power. He's decent on the ground. He can crowd you and win clinch games, and he surprised David Dvorak. I laid off that fight. I believe Dvorak was the winner, and I think this is a pretty decent matchup for him to get his second win in the UFC. Right now, he is sitting at around minus 140, and I'm looking at Alessandro Costa, and I don't think you can take a whole lot away from his last fight against Jimmy Flick. Jimmy Flick sucks. He's terrible. He's just not UFC caliber right now. So Costa just destroys his leg, looks great. I just don't think you can take a lot away from that. Before that, he fought Albazi and got dominated, got dropped. The striking defense just absolutely was not there, completely outclassed. So I just think Erceg has more tools at his disposal to win. I think that you're going to see Costa try and land more leg kicks, and I think Erceg is going to have a game plan for that. I think Costa keeps his hands a little bit too low when he's coming in, and he's ripe to get pieced up on the counters. I think Erceg is just going to kind of win this by decision, just by landing more shots and doing more damage. I think he's going to control him if they get into the clinch, and I'm just not that high on Alessandro Costa. So my pick in this one is Steve Erceg. Can't say it's, huge confident I'm going to play it at 3 or 4%, but I do like Erceg in this one. I think he gets the victory probably by decision. Kyung Kang versus John Castaneda, and Kang is the underdog in this one, and I kind of like the underdog. I think he's better on the feet. Kang is a kickboxer, kickboxer type style, and he uses his punches and his kicks to keep the distance, and that's going to be pretty important because Castaneda likes to push up. He likes to clinch. And Kang just had a really, really nice performance against Christian Quinones. He gets credited with the submission, but it was the striking that got him the win. So I think he's going to have to use that length and that distance to keep Castaneda at distance. And, Kang's going to be taller. He's going to have a little bit of the reach. And, when we look at Sexy Mexi here, okay, he beats Gafurov. I thought he struggled at times against Gafurov, and I don't think Gafurov is very good. So I'm not really sure why the odds have Castaneda as this big of a favorite. I think Kang's going to have to keep this a striking match. If it turns into some kind of wrestling match, I would think Castaneda would be able to win that one. I'm not totally sold on Castaneda. He lost to Daniel Santos. Okay, lost to Nathaniel Wood, but beating Eddie Wineland and Miles Johns and Gafurov, I'm just not that sold on. So I think the value's in the underdog on this one. And if Kang can keep it on the feet, I think he's going to win the striking. He's going to do more damage. And it looks like Kang victory to me. So value's on the underdog in that one. Tabatha Ricci and Godinez. I guess we just have to accept that Lupe's just going to be a striker. Her background is wrestling, her family's wrestlers, and, she's just going to be a striker. And I think we just have to kind of accept that. And, she's won her last 3 fights, only losses to Angela Hill, which she could have won if she would have implemented the wrestling. And I will say her striking has gotten a little bit better. I think she could be just this amazing fighter who can strike and wrestle, but it just doesn't seem like she's willing to mix in a little bit of both consistently. So what we have here is a very, very close fight. The odds suggest that. And we got Baby Shark, Tabatha Ricci here, who's 9-1. And what we see with Ricci is she got a couple takedowns against Jillian Robertson, but immediately popped back up. She really didn't want to be on the ground that much. And I think that first off, she's going to have to be really careful. Ricci's going to have to be really careful because if she initiates the wrestling in the ground game, I don't know why you would want to bring Lupi into that world. So I think Ricci's going to try and keep this on the feet, and if she does get a takedown, you're going to see her pop right back up again. So if she does that, she just is begging Lupi to win a wrestling, kind of match. When I look at the striking, I actually think that Lupi's got better cardio. And I think that may end up being the difference. I just don't think that Ricci is going to have enough as we get towards the end of round 2 and we get into round 3. I think Lupi's cardio is going to be the kind of the hidden little gem here. So I do think Lupi wins it, but I think you have to look at some kind of over. I mean, you look at, Ricci decision against Robinson. She does get the armbar against Penne, but then decision. Loses to Fiorot, fine. But then you look at Lupi, and man, Lupi is just her last, 7 fights have gone the distance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you have to go back to 2021 to find one. So besides the Elise Reed one, sorry. I just don't think Ricci's going to get submitted in this one. So I like this fight to go the distance. I think that's a pretty confident play. Ever so slight lean to Godinez, but I think you're looking at overs as the best form of betting on this one. Nazim, Sadykhov, and Borshchev. Sadykhov, we'll start with him. And, he's 9-1. And listen, he hasn't lost since his very first professional fight, which is pretty good. Gets the win against Terrence McKinney. Got to be honest, he was being dominated in round 1 when McKinney took him down, controlled him on the ground. Credit to him, he survived. And then, he gets the finish in round 2 when McKinney gasses, but McKinney always gasses in round 2. So Sadykhov will definitely not have to worry about Borshchev shooting for a takedown. Borshchev has basically no takedown offense. That's his big Achilles heel is the takedown. So when we look at Borshchev, he's 7-3. These 2 losses, Davis and DKC, was just like oh my God, this guy can't stop a takedown. And when he gets on the ground, he's just completely lost. But then, he gets the knockout against Mahashate, who really, really got tired. Just looked terrible in round 2. But I got to be honest, I didn't think Borshchev was amazing in that one. So I'm looking at Borshchev as plus money, and I do kind of like it because when I look at Sadykhov, 9-1 record looks good. This fight against Evan Elder is a little bit deceiving. I think he was losing that fight. It was a really good fight. It was close. I think he was losing it, and then Elder gets the cut, and the doctor stops it. So I think the value's in the dog here because I think both of these guys are pretty even. I'm not impressed with either of them, to be honest. I'm not high on them. I just think that if you're going to bet this one, the value is absolutely on the dog here. So it's a slight lean to Borshchev. Again, not going to get to the window on this one. So, take that for what it's worth. All right, guys, we do have a promo code that you can use at wagertalk.com. The promo code this week is ALL30, ALL30. It gets $50 off a 30-day pass. We've been just great over the last year and in 2023. we've remained in the top 3. You kind of rotate year 1, year 2, year 3. But we've been in the top 3 for months for total units gained for 2023 and for the last 365 days. So we are very, very proud of that. We did not play too many plays on the last UFC card. Used a couple of them in some parlays. Kyle Barallo was a confident play. We get to the window on that one, but this includes 30 days of all of our plays. NFL, NBA, NHL, all of our cross-sport parlays. So if you want to use the promo code ALL30 for $50 off a 30-day pass, like I said, we are so proud of how many units we have brought in over the last 365 days and in 2023. So it is a great time to jump on board. 30 days. Just use that promo code ALL30 for $50 off. All right, let us move on here to Denis Buzukja versus Jamall Emmers. So Denis made his debut against Sean Woodson and kind of got his ass whooped, let's be honest. And I thought he might. I think I bet a little bit on Woodson because I just don't trust Sean Woodson. But I'll be honest, I didn't think his competition was good before this. I thought he got his ass kicked against Sean Woodson, and I am not very high on him. I just don't see upside. Being tough and being able to survive an ass whooping does not mean you're ready to win. My problem with this fight is the price. Jamall Emmers is like minus 325 when I'm recording this. So we look at Jamall Emmers and, listen, he technically has lost 2 out of 3. I thought he beat Jack Jenkins. I thought that was kind of a bogus decision loss there. It was split. It was close. But listen, an L is an L. I like his weapons. Buzukja's striking defense, pretty bad. I think Emmers going to land shots. I think he's going to be able to do damage, and then he's going to mix in the takedowns when needed. I think Emmers' cardio is going to be a little bit better. I hate this price. Emmers is, 36 years old? So, 34 years old, it says here. So, Buzukja's the younger guy, and you gotta be able to say, okay, that was his UFC debut. He can get back to the gym. He can make some improvements. I don't know what improvements he's made. I will not be betting it just because the price is just insane. Jamall Emmers as a minus 325. So not high on Denis, but I'm just not going to lay that kind of juice. Jared Gordon versus Mark Madsen. All right. So we have Madsen, the elite wrestler, who is 12-1. He is coming off of a loss against Grant Dawson, where Dawson just dominated him. And he's just a backpack wrestler. If he gets on your back, he's not going to let go. He's up there in age. I mean, he's 39 years old. And he's fighting Jared Gordon. And Mark Madsen is the underdog here. And I'm pretty surprised by that because I would have thought that Jared Gordon would have been a little bit more of an underdog. But, I mean, you look at him, okay, the no contest against Bobby Green with the head class. Loses to Patty Pimblett. I know that one was controversial. Wins against Leonardo Santos, and he gets beat by Grant Dawson. So they both lost to Grant Dawson. Here's why I think Jared Gordon will win, and here's why I, again, will not be betting it. I think Gordon is just so much better in the striking and on the feet, and he's not terrible at wrestling. Now, is he Mark Madsen or Grant Dawson? Of course not. But if he can just make life a little bit difficult for Mark Madsen in the wrestling department, he's going to win the stand-up battle. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the younger fighter with better striking to win this one. But at minus 170, I don't know if I want a piece of that just because I could see Mark Madsen getting a hold of his back, holding him down, squeaks out a boring round. It's just going to be a boring fight. I would absolutely take this one to go the distance. I don't think either one of these guys are going to finish the other one. So that's kind of the best way I would look at this one. But I do like Jared Gordon to win. If you believe that Madsen's wrestling is just going to dominate Gordon and that he can do enough damage on the ground, then, by all means. So I guess the interesting thing is, if Madsen's not doing anything on the ground, are they going to stand him up? Or is it going to be like Jailton Almeida in Brazil where they just let Jailton sit there for 3 minutes without doing any damage, and while the ref is just yelling at him, "Hey, keep going. You got to work to improve position. Keep." What a absolute joke that was. So, and I had a ticket, and I had a ticket on Almeida, just on the money line, parlayed with Renat Fakhretdinov, which I thought that was a bogus draw. I thought if you're going to give 10-8 in round 3, then you need to give 10-8 in round 1 as well. But I've digressed. So it's a fight I'm not going to get to the window on, and that's kind of a theme here. Joshua Van and Kevin Borjas. So Borjas, coming off week 1 of Contender Series, pulled off an upset by beating Victor Diaz. Great performance. Diaz is a grappler, a lot of good wins, and Borjas beat him up. Diaz was all mashed up in the face. And then the other thing, he even won the grappling battle at the end over the grappler. So I'm surprised to see him this big of an underdog. Josh Van's coming in at like minus 245 at the time of recording this. So I just figure Borjas pulls the upset, is 9-1. I figured you would be getting much closer odds, but the books are on to Josh Van. So here's the deal with Van. He makes his UFC debut against Zhalgas Zhumagulov. It goes down as a split decision. I thought Van's striking was better. Thought his cardio was really good. He almost finished him in the second round. I thought he had really good moments, and I thought the damage he did to Zhalgas was really good. Zhalgas was all bloodied up. Van's cardio looked really good. I thought he was very comfortable in the third round with his striking, and I think that's going to be the difference. The striking of Van. I think he's going to piece up Borjas. Borjas did not get tested in the striking department against Victor Diaz. Victor Diaz had nothing for him striking. So I like Van's striking, and I'm not sure Borjas is going to implement wrestling, because when he fought Diaz, his wrestling was kind of more of a defensive style. But I don't know. This one could be in a parlay at minus 245. Not sure if they. I don't know if either one of them can finish the other. I think you're playing with fire on that one. But I do like Josh Van. I think his striking was good enough to kind of sell me that he's going to be good enough to take care of Borjas on that one. So the pick is Josh Van on that one. Matt Frevola and Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm not going to bet against Saint-Denis. Just not. Let's just start right there. He just looks better and better each fight. And, okay, so, Nicholas Stoltz, okay, gets the finish. Gabriel Miranda, okay, good. And then Bonfim looked good. And then the beating he gave Thiago Moises was very, very impressive. Relentless on his takedowns. Once he gets him down on the ground, he knows how to deliver huge damage. The guy's gas tank is very impressive. And another thing that helps him is, man, is he big for this division. He just fills out. Like, when you look at the beginning of that Moises fight, I mean, they come out and they meet, and you're like, who is this guy? This guy's huge. So he's going to have that advantage, it just feels like, in this division. So he's, again, 2 inches taller here. Going to have a little bit of a reach. And we're looking at Frevola here. So Frevola just found this power. Okay, knocks out Valdez. All right, knocks out Ahmed Azaitar, but that one was just whoever lands the biggest shot, the first kill shot was going to win that one. That was a 50-50. And then he knocks out Drew Dober. He caught him, so more power to him. Frevola's plus 170, Saint-Denis minus 205. I think Frevola's going to have to catch him early. I think Saint-Denis, if he gets a hold of Frevola and gets him on the ground, I believe in the ground game, and I believe in the finishing capabilities of Saint-Denis. I would say no chance that this fight goes the distance. This might be one of the gimmies. But it's going to be so juiced. It's going to be crazy. And I think if you're looking at it, I think if you like Saint-Denis to win like I do, you wait for the props to come out and you say Saint-Denis inside the distance. I just think he's going to avoid the big shot of Frevola. I think he's going to get Frevola on the ground. I think it's going to be another finish on the ground. I just am not ready to get in the way of Saint-Denis. So Frevola's 3-fight streak comes to an end, I believe. I think Saint-Denis gets it done. Call it in the second round here inside the distance. Pat Sabatini and Diego Lopes. Fascinating fight. Pat Sabatini, ever so slight favorite, minus 135. So Sabatini's going to waste no time in shooting for takedowns and controlling his opponent on the ground. This is a dangerous opponent to do that with because Lopes is constantly searching for submissions. And we saw it in his debut against Ivloev. He almost caught Ivloev in how many arm bars, tough situations. He takes the loss, but man, he was ever so close to winning. And then we see against Gavin Tucker, just a great, really, really great performance. Pulls Gavin Tucker into the triangle armbar. So this is going to be tough for Pat Sabatini because Sabatini likes to push forward, get guys against fence, take him down. But he is going to have to be so careful to not put his neck in a bad spot, to not get his arm caught in an armbar. This is a really, really tricky matchup because I think Lopes is going to be fine with going to the ground. Like, he may even, pull guard, or he may let Sabatini get him down if he thinks he can get an advantageous position. So I'm going to look here at, I believe Lopes is going to be the bigger fighter. Yeah, so again, another tough one for Sabatini. He's 3 inches shorter, a little bit of a reach. I'm going to go with Lopes. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I think his ground game is good, and he only needs one tiny little mistake from Sabatini to leave an arm or a leg or a neck out there when he shouldn't. And I think Lopes wins by submission. So am I going to get to the window officially on it? Probably not, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think this is a great matchmaking. This is great matchmaking by UFC. But in the end, I think I just love Lopes' submission, and I think he catches Sabatini. Jessica Andrade and Mackenzie Dern. I'm not betting on Jessica Andrade anytime soon. So, I mean, she's just lost 3 in a row. Now, lost to good opponents, obviously. Blanchfield, Jan, and Tatiana Suarez. But, she's been pretty open that she's just taking as many fights as she can because she's trying to, she knows she's kind of winding her career down. She's got the OnlyFans thing going on. And Mackenzie Dern comes in at minus 198, and I think that price is appropriate because it just looks like Andrade is on the way out, and Mackenzie Dern, after getting rid of something in her personal life, she looked really good against Angela Hill, and that was an amazing fight. Angela Hill was totally down to scrap in that one. And it was a really good fight, but you just saw kind of a different level of aggression, I thought, from Mackenzie Dern. Striking was good. Judo throws were good. Her judo throws were almost like too good. They were so powerful. A couple times she got rolled over, and Hill ended up on top. So I'm looking at Andrade, who doesn't have the physicality anymore, doesn't have the aggression anymore. And against Tatiana Suarez, who I thought Suarez looked okay. But, I mean, Suarez was just able to, get a hold of her and do whatever she wanted. So Dern is absolutely the only way to play this one because I just can't imagine betting on Jessica Andrade, who's kind of got 1 foot out the door here, maybe 1.5 feet out the door. Based on what we've seen from Jessica Andrade, maybe it's Dern by finish. I mean, Andrade, guillotine loss, gets knocked out, rear naked choke here. It's really, really interesting. Then against Valentino, she got finished there. So, the last 4 losses that she's had, she's been finished in. And I don't know if she gets in a bad position on the ground. I think Mackenzie Dern is just going to be a little bit more motivated to finish than Andrade is going to be to survive. So it would not surprise me at all if Mackenzie Dern wins inside the distance. One more time, guys, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. Tell me your best bet on this card. Obviously, there's a lot of fights I'm saying I'm not getting in the window to, but that's okay. You only need 1, maybe 2 bets on each card to turn a profit. You don't have to have a bet on every single play. So, make sure you're cautious on those. And if you want to follow all my official plays, use the promo code ALL30, ALL30, $50 off a 30-day pass. Continue to be number 3 and inside the top 3 for 2023 profits and last 365 days profits. So to me, that's the really good measure of how consistent we are. So had a good weekend of UFC, putting some people in some cross-sport parlays. So looking forward to having more success this weekend as well. Sergei Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall. I'll just cut to the chase. Listen, half the people probably think Aspinall's going to win. Half think Pavlovich is going to win. I think we all agree this one is going under. Don't blink. Be stunned if it gets out of the first round. Pavlovich here. Pavlovich 8 straight round 1 finishes. Aspinall's never been to the third round in 16 fights. So we know the power of Pavlovich. He's going to look to strike early and often and try and get Aspinall out of there. I do have to bring up Aspinall's knee surgery. When he got hurt, he took a knee surgery, and he said afterwards, this was a surgery he should have had like years ago. Didn't realize how bad his knee was. And after the surgery, not only did he recover, but he was able to do things that he just wasn't able to do, like get back to his wrestling roots and, not be in pain constantly. He was saying that he wasn't able to train fully until after his last knee surgery. So I thought that was kind of interesting for basketball. He said he's been eating a lot better. So I guess here's what I think is going to happen. Either Pavlovich is going to knock him out, or Aspinall is going to be able to get through the punches and work that wrestling. And if Aspinall can get the wrestling and he can kind of put Pavlovich in a situation that Pavlovich has not seen in a long time, maybe ever, because of his power, I think Aspinall can take it. Do I know which one is going to happen? No, I don't. So I'm not going to bet a winner on this fight. I mean, the odds are basically even. They're both like minus 110. So the books are telling you it's a coin flip anyway, and I don't really have a strong opinion on a coin flip. Obviously, unders are going to be the way to go. I have a feeling a lot of people got burned on the Derek Lewis Almeida fight going under. I don't think this one lasts very long, so the judges can just sit there and enjoy it. But if I have to make a pick, if I absolutely have to make a pick for this fight, for the video purposes, give me Aspinall. I think he avoids the big shot. I think he works wrestling, and he ends up getting the win. Am I going to bet it with my own money? Of course not. But give me Aspinall. And finally, main event. Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. And I will tell you, I don't want to bet on Yuri because that shoulder surgery, by all accounts, was just gnarly. In fact, they were saying that his camp thought he dislocated it, so they were trying to fix it, and they ended up making it way worse. And this was a very serious injury and a very serious surgery. Dana White said this is one of the most serious shoulder injuries he's ever seen in UFC. And it's his first fight back fighting Alex Pereira, so I don't want to bet right out of the gate on Yuri, because if he's not at 100% and he doesn't look that great, Pereira's gonna win. So both these guys are strikers. You'll see clinches probably at some point in this fight, but probably not going to the ground. I really worry about Yuri. Now, if he's miraculously 100%, I think he wins. I think his activity is better. I think his movement is better. I think his kind of more unique striking is going to be better than Pereira. And I gotta say, when Pereira fought Jan, I was worried about him because he was coming off the knockout against Adesanya. I was worried his energy wasn't going to look that great, and I didn't think that was a great fight between him and Jan. I really didn't. They both kind of got tired. He landed 70 strikes, but in round 3, they both looked pretty tired. He did more damage. I did think he should win, but I just thought he seemed a little bit gun-shy, and he got taken down towards the end of the fight. So my questions about Pereira is, what's his cardio going to be like? What's his striking going to be like if he's going to be low volume? And what is Yuri's shoulder going to be like? Is he going to be less than 100%, or is he going to look great? So here's what I'm going to do with this fight. This is going to be a live bet. If Yuri is compromised in the first round, I'm probably going to jump in and bet Pereira. If Yuri looks good, I'm probably going to live bet Yuri. These odds are very close. It's Alex is minus 130, Yuri's plus 110. And so I don't think there's going to be huge swings in the first round on this fight. I think you're going to be able to know really quick if Yuri looks back to normal or not. If he doesn't look good, then I'm betting Alex. If he looks good, I think his cardio is going to be better, and I think he'll wear down Alex Pereira. So it's a live bet opportunity for me on this one. I'm not going to get to the window before the fight start on this one. So recap. I know it's not an exciting recap. So I like Erceg to beat Costa. Give me a little sprinkle on the underdog on Kang against Castaneda. I think Lupita wins by decision over Ricci. I guess I'll take Borshchev against Sadykhov, but definitely not a confident play. I think Emmers beats Buzukja, but the odds are keeping me away from that one. Jared Gordon and Mark Madsen. I lean Jared Gordon, but I'm not willing to pay minus 174. I do like Josh Van over Borjas. It's juicy, it's expensive, but I think Van gets it done. Give me Saint-Denis inside the distance. I will keep riding the Saint-Denis train. I think he gets it on the ground. Give me round 2 finish over Frevola. I'm going to take Lopes to get a submission over Pat Sabatini once it gets on the ground. I just think Lopes is going to catch him. He only needs one small opening to grab a submission. I'll take Mackenzie Dern as we just keep fading Jessica Andrade. And ever so slight lean to Tom Aspinall over Pavlovich. It gets the wrestling implemented, avoids the big shot early. And then live bet on this one. If we see that Yuri looks 100%, I'll bet on him. If he looks compromised and doesn't look good, then I'll be betting on Alex Pereira. So that's going to do it, guys. Thanks very much. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Tell me what your favorite bet is. Good luck on all your bets. And we will see everyone on the next video.